Hello, I'm Richard Raffan. I want to talk a bit about split blanks. I was given this one recently, and it's not something I would put straight on the lathe for a number of reasons. So we'll just have a closer look at it, and I'll show you what I do with it. So this blank is typical of what is so often found amongst older turning blanks. The pith is there on one side and it comes down to here on the other. Now, wood is almost always going to split from the pith, so if you get a split on a blank like this running across the top, it's dangerous to put it on the lathe. You can fill it with epoxy or faff around with it and do whatever you like with it, but when you finish the bowl, it's still going to look like a split bowl when it comes to it. So I really don't see the point in mucking around with it too much. Added to which, on this one you can barely see them, but there are lots of little micro splits there, and there are probably some on the other end. No, there aren't, so that implies that this might have been cut from the end of a board as well. But it's really better when you're cutting a blank, initially cut clear of the pith. Now what I do in this situation, I've got two options. One is to try and cut it through that way, which is downright dangerous. You should never put anything round like this through a saw. It'll just, yes, it'll grab and that'll be that. So I think in terms of getting smaller bowls out of it, so I'm going to make the first cut down the split. In fact, I'll make two cuts. I cut clear of the split and then see what I can do with that. So that's nice and clean. This one, I've still got that bit to break off there, so we need to get rid of that. And that bit's nice and clean, therefore so must be the other side. Now we have the end grain splits up on the end here, so we'll just get rid of those. And having cut off the end there, you bend it just to see what there is in the way of a split. So I can see little ones here. And I can just about see one across there, which when I bend here, it is much more apparent. So that means I can just about see that now. That comes off down there. There's another split up there. So the best way of getting rid of that is to cut across here, so I eliminate that. So I really cut across in that line. And then when I'm looking at this now, I've got a total of 7 inches, which is 170 millimeters roughly. If we're going in inches, 3.5 inches is half. So if I cut that there, I've potentially got a little bowl either side and another one down here. We'll just see what we get out of that. That's not the only option. Firm. And I'm going to take another little bit off the other end. So the only other problem I've got here is a screw hole in the middle, so whoever had this blank before was intending to turn off, I've lost where we were, at least he was going to turn off the splits on the bottom and would have ended up with a shallow bowl that size. But what I can do here, I've got two options. I can cut across here and take out a dry section for an end grain box. So we're looking at the grain that way. But I'm thinking in terms of small bowls. So I'm going to take a cut down the middle first. So I'll just turn that on its side. Oh, I didn't need to go through the whole way. I'd forgotten I was going to take another little bowl off that. Anyway. So I've got a little square bowl blank there for a small ash bowl. That will be another bowl blank. I can go in. I can go in either from there, or no, I will go in there. Yes, and I've got varying grain patterns depending on which side I go. Circle out of there. Now that in fact is going to be quite a deep little bowl, so I would probably be inclined to get two out of it. Or I can keep those together and make a little lidded box with the grain lined up. So I've got a bowl in there which I can mark with the dividers. And again, rather than cut this like that now, I'll just tip it on its side and get two more little bowls. Blade's getting a little bit old, so it doesn't want to go round the bend. As a new one, I've already resharpened this one. Another one in here. More or less round. The main thing is I know where the centre is because that's where the compass was, so I just marked that. Another two little blanks there. Now what I should have done with the other half was to have keeping it this way up because that side is at right angles to the bottom bit. So I've got my options here. I've got the two round bowls there still, and if I cut that in half, I've then got another one in the bottom here. So we'll do that. A bit wasn't absolutely symmetrical, this original block, so I've got a teeny kind of knot or something there which I'm going to be just cutting just clear of. So we have that. There's another one out here. That one's slightly bigger, so I'll just ease the dividers out a bit. Here, got another one in the middle. Just wondering if I might even get two out of it. Right, I'll bring that in just a little bit. This is going to commit me to a fairly kind of open bowl, but nevertheless there are two in there. Not quite so bad on the other side. And then we have the other two there. I'd have to jam the blade to a halt because I don't have a break on this this bandsaw. So instead of ending up with one kind of slightly larger split bowl, I have the potential of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 small bowls, or maybe 4 little boxes, cross-grain boxes, which I think is a much better use of the blank.